Now you might notice that I'm down in my garage today dressed in a winter coat and winter hat. And that's because, well, it's December and we're having a bit of a cold spell. So I thought it would be a good time, because there isn't going to be any riding today, that we might talk about a new luggage system that I was sent from Vikingbags to test out. And this is the Odyssey 80-liter Explorer Adventure System. Now this Odyssey 80-liter bag system is one of those rackless types that is so popular today that you can fit on adventure bikes. Really, you can fit it on just about any kind of bike. I've got it here mounted on my Scrambler 400X from Triumph, and it fits on there very nicely. Now, this rackless system from Vikingbags retails for $537.49. However, the last I saw, it is on sale. You can pick it up for just $412.24. Competition for this luggage system would come from something like the Giant Loop Great Basin system, which retails for about $630, or the Moscow Moto 80-liter bag system, which retails for right around $1,000. In addition, there's the Tusk Excursion system. That's 83 liters, and it goes for $430. And lastly, Lone Rider has a 70-liter system that goes for, again, right around $1,000. Looking at some features of this bag, it comes with 3 different dry bags. It comes with 2 25-liter dry bags that mount on either side of the racking system, and also a 22-liter dry bag that mounts up on top underneath a couple of beaver tails. Now, if you add all that up, that comes out to 72 liters. So you may ask, well, where do they get 80 from? And they get to 80 by adding in this bag. Right? This is a bag for tent poles, or you could use it for a tripod, for example. So adding all that up together, well, that gets you up to 80 liters. The dry bags on either side of this system fit in these little holsters like this that are easy to put in and take out. And as I mentioned, that 22-liter dry bag, it mounts on top underneath a couple of beaver tails. And within each of the beaver tails, you have more storage options, right, in these zippered pouches. And this pouch on the back beaver tail is even removable. Now, if that's not enough storage space for you, well, you have MOLLE panels both on the front and the bottom of the bag, as well as back here on the back of that beaver tail. Before we get into my impressions of this bag system, let's back up a little bit and show you how to assemble it and how to install it on your bike. So I've got everything that comes with these bags spread out here on the floor, right? There's the top bag. I got 2 of my side bags, the 2 legs, right? Of course, there's the holsters for the legs, left and right. And then this is the harness system that is going to keep all that stuff together. To make this easier on myself, I'm going to take this harness system apart. And that is, I'm going to remove both of the beaver tails. So they have these little clips right here. And I'm going to just snap out. Like that on both sides. All right, then this harness piece here comes with a back pad. So again, what I'm going to do is remove this back pad like that. All right, and that's going to leave me with just the outer or front of the harness, all right, that I'm going to be working with. Now, the hardware that we're going to use to put this bag system together looks like this. I've got a 1/4 inch by 1/2 inch screw. I've got a 1/4 inch washer, and then this is a 1/4 inch by 3/8 inch deep T-nut. Now, in the instructions for the bag, they call this a blind nut or a blind end nut. But if you go to a hardware store, this is going to be a T-nut. Now, let me be honest with you here. When I got these bags, they did not include any of the hardware, any of the instructions, nor the heat shield that is supposed to come with these bags. Now, they sent them to me for free, so I'm not complaining. I let them know that I didn't get any of this stuff, but I don't think I'm going to need any of it. I was able to go out and source all of this stuff for myself. So it did take me a couple of trips to find this little T-nut. I had to go to a local mom and pop a hardware store down the street from me here because the big box stores didn't have the right sizes. So we're going to start here by putting the right leg on. So I'm going to put one of my T-nuts right here in this center hole. So next, I'm going to match up this hole in the right leg right there with that hole right there. Now you're not going to be able to see this very well, but I'm taking one of my screws, one of my washers, a little bit of Loctite on that screw, and then we're going to fasten this in that hole. And again, it's kind of inside here, so you won't see very much. All right, there we go. So I got that started, and I'm just going to tighten it down with my screwdriver. Once I have that center screw and nut all set, I need to align this where I want it to be to fit my bike. And I already put this on the bike and I played around with it, and I figured out that I want this as flat as I can get it to clear my exhaust. So I'm going to put this pointing to the 3. Now I'm going to go around and I'm going to repeat that same process we used for the center nut, and I'm going to put it at 4 locations right here that match up to that number 3 position. So I didn't think you needed to sit through watching me do all that, so I'm just going to show you we got all 5 of those bolts in, and now we're ready to do the other side. So I'm going to repeat that process on the other side, and then we'll come back. All right, we got both of the legs all hooked up now, so what we're going to do is turn this over, bring it there so you can see it, and then I'm going to take this back and we're going to reinstall it. All right, so I'm going to match up that center hole and then lay out my pad. Okay, so we come back out into the garage now to put this on the bike. All right, I've got it sitting up here. I've got it centered on the seat, and I'm going to hook it to my my rack back here. However, rather than using the holes in the rack, I'm actually going to go underneath here, and I'm going to attach it to the frame of the rack. Again, I've already played around with this and found out this is the best way to do it. Right, so there are 3 buckles that Viking provides to strap this thing down securely. There's these little pinch buckles, metal pinch buckles here. So I'm going to come underneath here, and I'm going to pass my strap through there. And we're going to come back up through that buckle and then pull it down tight, right like that. Okay, and then I'm going to, again, do the same kind of a thing on both sides here. So this is where I'm going around the frame, right, and then back up. Again, pull it nice and tight. There we go. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Now I made a mistake, so let me show you just in case it happens to you. This one in the center here, right, I need to make sure that I get that strap through this strap that goes and ties down my top beaver tail. So to make sure that that's in the center, I got to flip that up first. Again, I forgot that, so let me get it tied back down. Now let's talk about something that is good and bad about all of the stuff that I've gotten from Vikingbags. I think that they make a really nice quality product, especially for the prices. I've never got anything that I felt was cheap. Viking has always made said good quality products. However, sometimes they go crazy with their strapping systems, right? Like using the metal buckles here instead of a plastic buckle. And then they have all these tie down spots like right here, which helps to keep all of your straps, of course, nice and neat. And that is a good thing, especially when you have all of the kind of straps that they provide you. However, it does get to be a little bit of a pain in the rear doing all of these things up. So again, it's just kind of something, you don't have to do very often, but when you're first putting all of your bags on like this, you're going to just have to take your time and go through the process of making sure that everything is strapped down. So now that we have the back of the bag strapped down, we're going to strap down the legs here. And again, there's a metal buckle right up here on the top, and then just a strap that I'm going to put through the support for my passenger pegs right there. And then we're going to bring it back up. And this is where sometimes these metal buckles get to be a pain. They can be a little hard to get to. Like this one is being a little stubborn for me. There we go. Got it. Now, of course, once you get it tied down, it's pretty good. And there we go. Tighten it up just a little bit. And then we're going to do the other side before we cinch them down completely. Now, while I'm over here on the other side of my bike, this is actually the right side of the bike, let me show you why I put these bags in position 3, right? And that is so I had space here between the bags and my muffler. If I put it in position 2, then it was touching the muffler right here. And that's kind of a tough position to put another heat shield on. So I moved that up to position 3, again, to keep them out of the way. So we got the bags all strapped down. They're nice and secure now. I've got my beaver tails reinstalled. So now we can put in the dry bags that are going to carry either my clothing or my camping equipment, whatever I'm going to take. Oh, and by the way, yeah, that's a snowblower, that time of year. A couple of nice features of these dry bags are that, one, they've got this window in it. Now, I just have towels in there, as you can see, just so that I have something to show you what the bag looks like. But they also have this nice pull tab right down here. So as I slip this bag in here, I can reach up, grab that pull tab, and pull it down snug. Now, of course, once you have this bag in there, you get it all strapped in snug, right? There's a strap on the bottom here, all right? Again, tighten that up. And again, there's a keeper right here for you, like that. Okay, there we go. And then we've got another one here. Again, snug everything up there. And don't forget the one up at the top to keep the bag from flying out and going down the road. Again, we got a keeper here as well, like that. And then you can fold your strap all up. Like I said, this is where it kind of gets to be a little bit of a pain, keeping everything nice and neat, but at least you can. All right, there we go. And obviously do the same thing to the other side. All right, now we're gonna put this top bag. This is the 22-liter bag, and it does come with straps here that you can use for a backpack. Now, honestly, that's not something I'm probably ever going to use. So what I'm going to do is just take them, I'm going to stuff them inside here and just kind of forget about them. All right, inside, and put that bag right there. Bring the one beaver tail over. Strap it down. All right, tighten it up. Okay. And then bring the top beaver tail over, and again, strap it down. All right, there it is. All right, so we've gone over all of the bags, how to install them, and the features of them. So let's sit down with a cup of hot chocolate, warm up, and I'll give you my impressions. As I said earlier, whenever I had the chance to test a product from Vikingbags, I've always found them to be excellent quality, right? And I've always found them to be a fair price. These bags, for example, come in right in the midpoint between a lot of these rackless bag systems. Also, as I said earlier, I would like to see Viking simplify their strapping systems a little bit. I always find them a little bit cumbersome to use. They work well, they hold the bag securely, but again, they are a little bit cumbersome to get on and off. And if I'm carrying these bags into a hotel, for example, every night, well, again, it gets to be, you know, quite a bit of work over the course of a 2-week or 3-week or even longer trip. But in the scheme of things, that's really kind of minor. The key thing is that they do work well and they hold everything securely. Another comment that I have heard when I have reviewed some of the Viking bags is, well, they copied Moscow Moto or they copied Giant Loop or something like that. And yeah, there's some truth to that. From what I understand, Giant Loop was the first company to come out with this U-shape rackless bag systems. And then Moscow Moto jumped on board with their version that used the harness, right, and the holster system. And then, of course, companies like Viking, like Tusk, and like Lone Rider all jumped on board with their specific versions. So to me, it kind of gets down to your budget. Right? If you have the budget to afford a $1,000 bag system, well, that's awesome. But if you only have the budget for a $400 or $500 bag system, well, that's where something like Vikingbags comes in. They give you a really good quality product, again, at that reasonable price. Now, unfortunately, like I said before, we're living off of hot chocolate, waiting for the weather to warm up, which will probably be in March or April. And then I'll be able to load these things up and take this out on a little trip and really give it a good test. So, but until then, well, you just have to go off of this video. So if you're interested in picking up one of these sets of the 80-liter Odyssey bags from Viking, I will have links, of course, in the description of this video, and you can go and check them out yourselves. Again, always look for their current sales and availability. Sometimes they sell out and you might have to wait a little bit for them. Anyway, guys, obviously keep riding safe and, of course, keep squeezing that lemon.